Viewers like you make this program possible. Support your local PBS station.
For every great chef, there is a time and place in their career where they knew that cooking was their passion. When all of their creative focus and energy turned towards perfecting their craft. Maybe it was a specific restaurant or a mentor that inspired them. Or maybe, for those lucky enough to grow up in a culture with its own deep and distinct culinary history, the path to being a chef was hardly even a choice. For Chef David Kinch, working in the kitchens in his hometown of New Orleans is where his path began.
It tastes exactly as I remembered it.
Enter the mind of a chef.
You can actually taste the sun. I don't know how we're going to top that one. This is the fun part in cooking. Cheers. I step off the plane and it all comes flooding back. The beautiful imperfections. That is the patina of the spirit of New Orleans. You know, things kind of weather over time, where everything and everybody looks like a disheveled thoroughbred. And I find that very appealing. It's one of the few cities in the United States where food is such an ingrained part of the day. People talk about what they're going to eat all the time, without stop. What they're gonna have for dinner while they're eating lunch. They argue about restaurants, they discuss, they recommend where they can get food they've eaten and what they're gonna be eating. And I kind of fell into that. I started cooking and I threw myself into learning what I could about restaurants. With all the outside influence that New Orleans had in its long history, the mishmash, they all left their mark. What's amazing is there's a seamlessness to it. All melted together to be this New Orleans flavor. I'm pretty convinced, even more so every time I come back, that I had some of the happiest times of my life here. Commander's Palace, legendary. It looks exactly the same. It is so completely alien and yet so perfect for its location. How would you describe this color here? Aquamarine, turquoise. It's my first job ever working in a kitchen. First time also, I got the food bug, where I learned that I really enjoyed cooking. It was my job here and subsequent jobs that made me decide that I wanted to go to culinary school and pursue it as a career, which in 1979 was a different proposition than it is nowadays. I think going to culinary school is almost a respectable choice now. There was a tremendous amount of energy in the kitchen. It was very daunting. And I was doing a lot of the lowest of the lows, cleaning of lettuce and picking of herbs, shelling nuts, peeling carrots, potatoes, that sort of thing. It was the first time I was thrown into a situation where the frantic energy of something that needed to be completed immediately, not only that, but done very well. So many moving parts. Hot food was leaving, coming across here, walking up those stairs up to the second floor. I remember marveling the fact that people had to go up and down those stairs constantly. It was pretty intense, the amount of traffic.
People always look at Commander's as an institution that's been around now for 135 years, and they say to themselves, wow, you know, it's a classic restaurant, all the food's got to be really classic.
There's a lot of dishes that Commander's was known for.
Yeah.
Are there dishes that remain on the menu that reflect the Commander's style, and perhaps you have a chance to put your own spin on them?
It's a little funny. If I ask people, what are the dishes you really remember, the really untouchable ones, like turtle soup is big. I mean, that recipe really goes back to probably like the late 1700s, when this part of Louisiana was getting settled. You know, people ate what they had, and turtles were definitely a part of that. And we do that exactly like it's always been done. But aside that, a version of gumbo, bread pudding souffle. Our menus are a bit of a balancing act.
So in other words, if you honor the spirit of the cuisine and the spirit of the house, then you can do what you want.
That's it.
One day at the Commander's Palace, I remember crossing the courtyard and coming upon a scene. On the stones, they had laid out a drop cloth. Upside down was a 6-foot snapping turtle. The shell had been off and it had been cut open. Beating organs, blood pumping. They had a couple of cooks wrestling with it, breaking it down.
and it was like a crime scene. There's a lot of blood in a turtle, some red meat. There was an image seared in my mind. I remember going, cooking is about life and death. Things give their lives to satisfy our needs. Gosh, 16 years old. 6-foot turtle with its shell off.
So what we have here is about 45 pounds of ground Callan snapping turtle. There is a little bit of veal in there for some body. And generally we go through about 5,000 and 7,000 pounds of fresh turtle meat every single year just to make this one dish. More than anybody else in the United States. Along with that is onions, celery, and green bell pepper, the foundation of all of our good food in Louisiana. It's a holy trinity. Salt, black pepper, dried thyme, raw chopped garlic. Start sweating all this down. Ah, that's awesome. And it is a veal stock-based soup. Add blonde roux to it. Worcestershire sauce, tomato puree, whole ground lemon, the pit, the peel, the seeds, and everything. Louisiana hot sauce, eggs, fresh spinach, and then every New Orleans recipe should finish with great, great booze. Dry sherry. Go through a lot of liquor, that's for sure. That's what really sets that turtle soup off. Looks great. This is the perfect Commander's Palace turtle soup.
Got some turtle soup for you.
Beautiful.
Quite warm.
I have not had the turtle soup here in 37 years. I can't wait.
And a little splash of sherry, because you have to.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Wow. A real turn-of-the-century dish. I've learned to appreciate dishes like this, the history and the legacy that they represent. Very, very important, especially in a town like New Orleans. It tastes exactly as I remembered it.
What makes a po' boy so special is where it derived from. See, it started from the Martin brothers, Benny and Clovis Martin. They had been conductors and worked their way pretty high up in managing in the streetcar line in the city of New Orleans. Because back at the turn of the century, you know, people didn't have vehicles. Vehicles was a luxury. And so these guys made their bones in the streetcar industry, and they retired. They did something they wanted to do. They opened up their own little grocery store, Martin Brothers Grocery, right on St. Claude Avenue. So figure this, 1929, height of the Depression, the streetcar workers, they weren't getting paid. And the streetcar workers said, you know what? Screw y'all, we're striking, and they quit. Any streetcar that was running a line in the city that wasn't run by a licensed union streetcar driver, oh yeah, they'd stop that streetcar in its tracks. They flipped cars, they burned them. It's like flipping a train car, but they did it. Where the word got out to Benny and Clovis, they said, look, you boys come by the Martin Brothers grocery store, show us your badge, and we're gonna feed you. We're gonna feed our poor boys. And the first poor boy sandwich, they take a potato, fry it up, hack it up, and then put a little roast beef gravy on it. It spread the wildfire right away, right away. You'll have a guy with a $500 suit rubbing elbows with a guy who could barely afford his sandwich. They're eating the same thing, talking to each other. which otherwise these two people would never cross paths. 8 to 80, crippled to crazy. It's culture you can eat.
Josh Mayer is a great friend of mine. We went to high school together in New Orleans. Over the years, we have always been in touch. Josh is one of those very rare people in my life where I won't see him for a year, but the moment that I'll see him, it'll be like I saw him 5 minutes ago.
That's pretty tasty.
We eat a lot,
So these peppers, these are Tabasco peppers.
drink a lot,
Oh, yeah.
Jill and I grew them a year ago. Isn't that good?
we cook together. For me, po' boy is perfect lunch. And oyster po' boys are the king of po' boys. I like fried oysters. I can eat them all day. It's one of my favorite things. Fried seafood town, New Orleans is king. Right, King Mayor?
Absolutely.
We were talking about frying oysters. We diverged a bit on how we would approach
We
it.
politely disagree.
I'm gonna try something I've only heard about, but it sounds really interesting, only with the whites of the eggs.
Flat surface, right?
It's not a hard edge. And instead of cracking an egg going back and forth, you crack all the eggs in a bowl, you go in and you pull out the yolks. And then I'll reach in and pull them out.
That's the fun thing, and you get to do the fun thing.
You can do the fun thing. So now it's easy, just kind of use your hands as a mesh and leave the whites behind.
Yep. This feels so much fun. It is easier this way, you were right. I would have gone back and forth in the shell, and it would have taken me a lot longer to do it. It's actually pretty amazing.
Now the dry mix. You always bread and cornmeal. It's white cornmeal, which you love and you use, correct?
Love it. Crunchy.
Yes. A little bit of flour so you can get close to your prepackaged mix that you buy,
I use flour, but sparingly.
as am I. The controversial ingredient,
Panko.
dried Japanese white bread
That you've ground down to a very fine texture.
that I ground down to a very fine texture.
But I like that part of it.
I like it because it gets very, very crispy and very dry. It's more like a flour.
Yeah.
And now I'm just gonna season it. Dried garlic powder, which I never see anywhere except in New Orleans.
Really? Onion powder.
Onion powder,
Smells good.
cayenne.
I definitely use a lot of cayenne in mine as well.
Was that a lot? That's good.
You could add more.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, a little more. There we go. White pepper
Delicious.
and celery seed, which you showed an interest in.
Right. That's a smart idea.
Well, we'll taste and see. I'm only doing this for the oyster. And the last thing, fine salt.
Just go light.
Why would I go light?
Because you can always add salt after it's fried. That's what I like.
Oysters are also,
Salty.
and what is the predominant ingredient in onion and garlic powder?
Salt. How'd I do?
Very good. B minus.
B minus. I got them all right. I get a B minus.
That's kind of it. It looks heavy on the cayenne, but
No, it's
we'll see.
not.
So there's the spice mix. We're not putting a dry ingredient on before going to the wet ingredient, which is a standard breading procedure,
Right.
which I don't do, you don't believe in.
I don't believe in.
How many oysters did you say you had?
Oh,
300?
you have a lot of oysters. All right, so the great New Orleans French bread. I've heard theories that there's the water that makes our French bread so good, that it's the altitude, sea level, the natural yeast in the air.
It's not. Is it a natural yeast?
Yeah.
Okay.
If not,
and
it makes for a good story.
You know what I've heard also? New Orleans is a proof box.
Really?
It's not in a sterile proofing environment.
Maybe that's what I mean by the natural yeast.
You don't believe in end pieces, do you?
No, I don't.
either.
That's good that we didn't have to talk about that. The right French bread for a po' boy has the perfect amount of crunch on top, but also has a lot of give. Those things are getting squished as you eat it, which means they're
You should be able to hold it with one hand
Right.
and not have it disintegrate.
soft enough to hold everything, but crunchy, because it's a very textural thing that you get that crunch on top. Oh, it's so good.
So I'm gonna bread the oysters. One of the keys to successful breading, one hand wet, one hand dry. Otherwise you end up breading your fingers.
End up like a zombie.
They're a mouthful. A lot of people intimidated by Louisiana oysters.
Yeah, they think they're so big and oh, I could never eat all that. Louisiana oysters grow in brackish water at the estuary of the Mississippi River, where all this amazing fresh water coming out meets the salt water, and that's where the fattest oysters grow. They're richer.
Thicker shelled, sweet.
Yep.
Sometimes coppery.
Yep, I love the coppery. But when you fry these oysters, they just seem to be a little bit more delicious for a po' boy.
I would agree.
I'd like to just try them all and keep trying them all.
Even if we haven't decided, we can try
Just
some
keep
more.
try some more. So we have about 2 dozen oysters ready to roll. Generous, po' boy, yeah. So we're gonna fry these things?
No, we're gonna toast the bread. I like to have the bread just a little bit warm,
Right.
get the butter melted. I was thinking of shredding finely lettuce and cabbage and tossing them together.
Adds crispiness, it can't hurt. In New Orleans, we just say dressed. Lettuce, tomato,
Mayonnaise.
and pickle. An essential way to make a po' boy. That's just me.
And you don't like pickles?
I think pickles are too strong of a flavor. I think they skew the whole taste. Getting toasty.
Okay, let's get it out.
Crunchy.
Okay, tomatoes.
This is really good French bread, but it's super fresh, you can tell. Okay.
All right, we're ready to fry oysters and make some sandwiches. Let me see if the temperature is. Stick your finger, just tip of your finger.
Sure.
And you are going to cook them till they're golden brown, yet perfectly cooked and moist and tender in the very center of the oyster.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Here we go.
ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Our oil, yep. That's a great sound. I know people who go on diets where they don't eat any fried food. I don't get that. I'm serious, I don't get that.
How are they looking?
Pretty good.
Ooh, yeah. It adheres pretty nicely. So what do you think about that breading now?
They're certainly crunchy. They are crunchy. I don't know about panko, though, man. It seems like it's cheating.
All right, so.
A little hot sauce? Yeah. It's another liquid that gets absorbed in the bread.
And no pickles, because you don't like pickles.
It's a good-looking po' boy.
That's not bad. Not bad for a first effort, huh?
First effort, you're pretty good at this. You ought to try it.
Yeah, hope the bread's not toasted too much.
Hope the panko doesn't ruin it.
It could use some pickles.
Delicious. Can we eat these?
Yeah.
Good. Crunchy.
Too crunchy?
You ought to do this for a living.
That's sexy right there.
Right? It's good. Guys, you have to eat these po' boys. These are so good.
I did my externship back in New Orleans at Louis XVI.
You know, just starting out on my own, life was really, really simple. You worked hard, you played hard.
Gutter rat in the French Quarter. So it was great fun. Everything after that is a memory and how you remember it. Perhaps it increases in stature in your mind, maybe it doesn't. Food's like that as well, in that it's ephemeral, it's here and then it's gone.
First, we're gonna make a fig salami. Fresh figs are in season right now. These are the Calmernas, but dried black missions are really nice too. I like a mix.
Is this going to be the pork and the salami?
Yes, exactly. We have chopped walnuts, aniseed, gives it that nice Italian flavor, and sambuca.
Susan Spicer is a chef here in New Orleans who I have had the pleasure of knowing for many years, going all the way back to working together at Louis XVI in the French Quarter.
To bind all this, we have a reduced muscadine jelly, which is a local grape.
Very aromatic when it's fresh. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
they do have a really distinct smell and flavor. Sticky mass.
Putting it in the casing.
Yes, exactly. I use the foil to shape it, round it a little bit, and let it dry out, say 3 to 4 days.
Something that you age and let the flavors meld a little
Yes.
bit. What's next?
I'm gonna time travel back to my Louis XVI days and make a souffle. The first step is going to be a bechamel. At Louis XVI, one of my duties was the prep table where I was making savory soufflés to order. It was really a special thing, you know, getting your own personal souffle coming to the table. So season it with salt, black pepper, and nutmeg, which, yeah,
Classic seasoning for bechamel.
let this cool a little bit. I never thought much about plate presentation until I went to France in 1982, and that was when Nouvelle Cuisine was just sort of being born.
You striving to go work in France was very important in me deciding that I wanted to go work in France too. You talking about your experience
That's
over there.
great. All right, so we're gonna add these carefully. We'll temper a little. Maybe that's probably a good idea, huh?
that was like another dimension, something to aspire to. You left an impression with me because you weren't afraid to go outside and to come back and then be part of New Orleans. I was always very impressed with that.
Thanks. There we go.
So it's cheese time.
Cheese time. I use two kinds of blue cheese. I want one that's a little crumbly and dry. The Gorgonzola Dolce tends to be really creamy and sticky.
It's a great souffle ingredient.
Yeah. All right, let's get some egg whites going on.
Okay.
How to work up a sweat in New Orleans. You're getting close.
What are you looking for?
Looking for stiff but not dry. Maybe a little stiffer than that.
What is this?
Qu'est-ce que c'est bordel? Oh, that's perfect, thank you. Who needs a KitchenAid, huh? Incorporate this in stages, mix it pretty thoroughly to lighten up your base. I think I'm gonna put one little piece of Gorgonzola down, just see what happens.
Little gift at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's nice to still have little lumps of the cheese as well.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna take these and pop them in. Also, we have beautiful fresh figs. I decided we'll put a few of those on the plate as well. Drizzle a little sorghum. It's kind of somewhere in between honey and molasses. Run them under the broiler, get a little color on them. We have our fig salami. So
Aged to perfection.
Souffles are close. You know, souffles wait for no man. So they're looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah. It smells amazing.
Smells good.
All right.
I wasn't sure I could get my local figs, so I went foraging yesterday and
Really?
I did. Gorgonzola souffle with fig salami and fresh roasted figs.
That sounds great. I come here because it makes me happy. That's the most important thing. I had some of the happiest times of my life here.
The greatest and most exciting city in the United States.
There's a real deep culture here.
And the food is just so good.
Being inspired is just a byproduct of being here.
I was enamored with the power that food had. That coupled with wanting to be a cook, I don't think it could have happened anywhere other than New Orleans. I'm sure I'd be doing something else. Something not as exciting.